All right.
Where specifically on that?
So it's just the forearm, right,
Okay.
where you're looking. Yeah, I mean, I feel it where she hit me, but there's no.
Can you do me a favor? Just point to it real quick.
Yeah. So it's like right here.
Okay. Okay. And so when she hit you, what was she saying to you?
Well, she was saying what she was saying in the video, something along the lines of like, do you have to be fucking doing this, or she was swearing and being aggressive in her language.
Okay.
And
so
approaching directly.
I'm sorry, what was that?
And just coming directly to me.
Okay.
And then she got kind of like beside me and before she attacked.
Okay, so then she swiped your forearm, knocked the cord out of the phone,
Yeah.
and the phone stopped recording.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then I like took my spray out. I sprayed her for like half a second, but she backed up, and then that was it. And then one of the firemen approached me very aggressively, and I said, if you make contact with me, I'll defend myself. And then he said he wouldn't make contact with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know who this person is?
This woman?
Yeah.
No, I've never seen her in my life.
Okay. Is there a reason that you were reporting her?
Of course, sir. Do you know who I am?
Yeah, I know who you are.
Do you know what I do?
I don't know what you do.
Okay,
no.
so I record first responder incidents. I document them and I publish them to social media.
Is that through like a cop watch thing, or is that through just your own independent thing?
You mean, am I like a member of BTV Cop Watch
Yeah.
or something like that? No, I'm not associated with
You're not
BTV
associated
Cop
with them,
Watch.
so this is just something that you do on your own.
This is. I mean, nobody's forcing me to do it. Yeah. This is my own personal.
Because I know that there's
social
been.
media
I know that you've been involved
channel.
in like several incidents where like recording people has kind of gotten you into some form of situation where either you're being attacked or now you're carrying pepper spray and spraying people. Like, I'm just trying to figure out. Is the juice really worth the squeeze in this?
Just
sense?
so we're clear, what happened here was I was attacked and I defended myself.
Yeah,
With
obviously, I've only
a-
talked to one side of the story. I have
Yeah.
some video recording, but I still
Yeah.
need to talk to everybody else who was
Sure.
involved, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of trying to understand like where your mindset is. Like, is this something that you're doing with the purpose to antagonize people, or is it something that you're doing for your own profit, or is it something that you're just doing out of sheer curiosity?
This is something I do to inform the people of Burlington about what's going on in Burlington.
Okay.
I don't do it for my curiosity. I don't do it for money.
Okay.
I don't do it to antagonize people. I do it because I think people in Burlington need better documentation of what's going on in Burlington, better access to information.
Better access to information. So, like someone having a medical event coming out of the house, you think people need to see that?
What do you think, officer?
Well, I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like I said, you've been involved. You've been the catalyst now for several different events where people have stolen your bike, people have assaulted you.
Sir.
Now you're pepper spraying people. So I'm just trying to see.
I don't like the term catalyst because it suggests that I'm doing something to antagonize people, and I never antagonize. I'm always peaceful.
You're the common denominator, I guess. How about that?
Well, you look at what happens to me, and of course I'm the common denominator, but if you were to look at my hundreds of videos, you'll see that in the vast majority of them, they're all very peaceful and nobody attacks me.
Okay.
It's only in rare circumstances that certain individuals, for whatever reason of their own, will choose to attack me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
right,
common
and
denominators that
right,
we have.
so
we have
that being
individuals
said-
who are willing to attack people who are quietly and peacefully exercising
74.
their right to record.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I'm
Yeah.
just like from like your own safety, well-being standpoint, is the juice really worth the squeeze in these sense?
Right. So as a practical matter,
You know what
is it worth,
Right,
wearing a
that's
miniskirt
essentially what I'm
and
asking.
walking down a dark alley? These are all things that we have to consider in our life choices, right?
Okay.
Because there's
I just want to make sure you're considering everything clearly, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm aware of what's happening.
Okay.
To me, sir. Yeah.
All right. Do we have a good contact number for you? You haven't called in? You weren't the one who called in, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Do you mind if I grab a good phone number for you?
Y'all have all my contact information.
I've never obtained your contact information before.
All right.
So just to verify, for whatever reason, if I have to call you again, it's something we do with everybody that we encounter. Everybody that we talk to, we usually grab biographical information. So I can't determine, I can't say with any form of certainty if we have your phone number. Now, I know I've spoken with you before at the PD, but I don't know if I've personally grabbed your number there.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm just saying y'all have all my up-to-date information.
All right, so you don't want to give me a phone number?
I'd rather not, just because it's
okay.
Just it's more editing, frankly, on my part to edit out my phone number. I mean, I'm not being rude, sir. I would write it down for you. But I'm telling you that the police department has all my current information.
So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go up and have a chat with the other lady, and I'll have a chat with my other officer who spoke with other people on scene, and we'll figure it out from there. Okay?
Yes, sir.
For a second, Officer Brand.
Okay.
So you don't mind us staying here so we can talk offline, please?
Yeah. All right. It's interesting that officer would ask if I'm associated with BTV Cop Watch. Interesting to me because I'm never really sure sort of what the police officers know individually and collectively about beautiful scenic Burlington, our channel, what we do. But we're out here documenting first responder incidents, documenting government employees, documenting life in Burlington, and just observing and reporting on what life is like in Burlington. And unfortunately, there is an element of violence and hatred.
Mr. DeLuca, still a good phone number?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I just want you to be fully aware that
if you're going to read it on camera, I would have just told you.
Well,
Sorry.
You said we have it, right? So if I
Yes,
have
sir.
it, I just want to confirm
Yeah.
it with you.
Yes, sir.
So here's what I've gathered so far. I saw the video that you had.
Yeah.
You said that shortly after she smacked the cord out of your hand, struck you in the forearm, you produced OC, I'm assuming?
It's
mace?
Palm.
Okay. It's what?
Palm is the brand.
It's the brand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's OC mace.
produced
something
that.
like that. Yeah.
You sprayed it, hit her in the face with it for about a half second, you said?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, just a
Okay.
very brief squirt.
What was the time difference between her hitting you or striking that out of your hand versus you deploying that into her face?
I think it was instantaneous,
Instantaneous?
almost. Less than a second,
Okay,
maybe.
so there's like really no attempt to de-escalate her in that sense, or?
I mean, I didn't speak with her. I didn't look at her.
So you didn't say anything to
I
her.
was
You
trying.
were just doing your thing.
I didn't say anything to her.
She
at
slapped
all.
your hand, and you immediately produced the
as you
OC and sprayed her with it.
Well, I stepped back.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. So the other than taking one step back, there was nothing else said. No other actions done. It was instantaneous from you being touched to you producing OC.
Well, in a police report, I'd read that one of the officers said that not speaking is de-escalatory. So I was practicing that de-escalation, not speaking to her, but it wasn't working.
Okay. So you didn't speak to her for a half a second.
No, so I didn't speak to her. As she approached me, she continued to approach me.
Yeah. So you didn't.
So I was trying to not engage with her at all.
Okay.
And then she came to my side and attacked me.
Okay. So I mean, like, what I'm trying to say to you right now is that there's a gray area between defending oneself and instantaneously producing OC and spraying someone in the face.
Well,
that's what I'm trying to explain.
So
to you.
she had just attacked me, and yeah, so I defended myself.
Right, and what I'm saying is that's a very gray area, right? Because it's basically the accounts of everybody on scene in your account and whatever the video recorded, what you were kind enough to show me.
Well, maybe you could tell me more about that. What's the gray area? Like, if somebody attacks me, am I allowed to?
Gray area is conflicting statements from various witnesses who don't know you and don't know the victim, who are uninvolved in everything that happened tonight.
Yeah.
Conflicting with your statement.
Okay.
So if I was truly scared of someone, or if I was truly frightened of someone, my first action as a de-escalatory situation or action would be to remove myself from that situation, not immediately produce something to escalate an encounter. Does that make sense? When I come up to someone and someone's aggressive with me, the first thing I don't just not talk to someone and then let them assault me, right? I create distance. I remove myself from that situation best I can. Does that make sense?
I didn't initially perceive her as a threat, but then she attacked me physically.
Okay, but I'm just letting you know, like because we talked about this earlier, how you've been involved in several of these incidents where you've been attacked or you've had things taken from you. Like, we got to start maybe being a little bit safer about how we're doing this. Does that make sense?
I'm trying, sir. I'm trying to be as safe as I can be. Yeah.
I don't know what officer told you not to say anything, but I'm going to give you some really good, sound, solid advice. You ready?
I think that was...
Remove yourself from the situation. Okay? That's legitimately the best advice I can give you. If you feel fear that you're about to be assaulted or that you are going to be assaulted, remove yourself from the situation. Call us. That's what we do. We are paid to deal with those situations. Okay?
Right.
So as it stands right now, you're still being investigated for potentially simple assault.
Right.
Okay, because of the gray area where self-defense lies versus
just
producing something.
Is she being investigated for battering me, or I guess that's assault in this state?
It's a very, very weak case of it because, again, in your situation, you didn't try to remove yourself from a situation. If you're truly fearful of someone, removing yourself from a situation is going to be the first normal action that someone does to mitigate that threat of that.
I was afraid. Let's be clear. So I wasn't afraid of her I wasn't expecting her to.
Right.
I was.
Right.
Let me put it this way. I was concerned.
There's no injury. There's no damage.
I was concerned when she was walking up to me. I was concerned, which was why I was not speaking with her. I was trying to disengage.
Okay.
And then she escalated and attacked me. She hit me, and then I was afraid.
Right.
And so I was afraid she was going to hurt me, hurt my property.
Yep.
And so I defended myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is that there's a gray area in there somewhere, right?
But-
It's not black and white.
But in
So what I'm saying is I gotta take into account everybody else's statements. I gotta go
Yeah.
up to the hospital and chat with her about what she felt and how she experienced the event.
right.
And obviously that weighs into this investigation as well. Okay.
All right.
So as it stands right now, I just want you to understand that you're potentially being investigated for simple assault right now.
Right.
Okay. And I have your
Yes,
contact
sir.
information, and we'll be in touch from there moving forward.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions for me?
I just like to see her be investigated for the assault that she did.
That's why I'm talking to you, right? You're the victim from that standpoint, so that's why I'm talking to you about what's going on. And
Yeah.
she's obviously a victim as well because she was sprayed in the face. So I'm going to go up and have a conversation with her. Sometimes in situations, both people can be guilty of something. Sometimes maybe it's just a mutual friend, maybe it's nothing. But I'm telling you, what you're doing right now, especially carrying around the OC now, is kind of escalating things in that sense that you need to try and remove yourself from a situation, because obviously people's emotions are high. That someone's having a medical event, someone's going through something, so they're witnessing a family member go through some form of event. They're emotionally charged, right?
Yeah.
And if someone's sticking a camera in their face, like I'm used to it, Officer Bauer's used to it. We get a camera stuck in our face all the time. It's
Yeah.
not the end of the world to me, but to people who don't have this done to them on a regular basis, it can be pretty traumatic when they're already going through some emotional, traumatic event in and of itself. So you're going to be the direction of that anger sometimes, and I want you to understand that. Just pulling OC out because someone touched your arm and spraying them in the face is
She
not
didn't touch my arm, so
defend-
she hit my arm.
Okay, someone, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you injured?
I'm not injured.
Okay. Do you
thankfully.
need medical attention?
I don't need medical
Okay, so you
attention.
understand where I'm coming from, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I want you to be more careful about this moving forward because, quite frankly, you're eating up a lot of our time and a lot of the city's resources right now. Okay. You need to be, if you're going to do this, which I have no problem with you doing, but you need to be safe about it. Because the amount of times that we get called for you involved in situations like this is starting to grow exponentially. Does that make sense?
I hear what you're saying.
Okay. Do you
You're
have
talking
do you have
about
anything else for me then today,
there was
sir?
the Ellerman incident.
I'm not familiar with all the incidents.
Even last week when I was with you near the waterfront when someone was going through a medical crisis and they asked you to not film,
Yeah.
and you basically told them too bad. People don't like being filmed when they're going through a rough experience. Kind of like this experience here today. The ambulance is here for a medical emergency with someone related to that woman, right?
Well, I don't know any details of the incident, sir.
You can generally assume if firefighters carrying someone on a stretcher walking towards an ambulance, it's probably a medical emergency.
Yes, sir.
And people don't like being filmed in those situations. It's very uncomfortable to them. And on numerous occasions I've seen on your videos or in person when I was there, people ask you to stop filming and you choose to film them anyway for your YouTube account. So you can post people going through their horrific situations for monetary reasons. I don't know what it is, but it does make people very comfortable.
I'll say what I said to the other officer. So
Real quick, before we have this conversation,
I do this.
do you need anything else from me? I'm going to go up to the hospital and chat with the woman who was sprayed. Do you need anything else from me?
Do you have an incident number?
Not right now.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
9-8. Okay.
So I do this to inform the public. I'm
Inform the public of a medical emergency that someone's going through.
I inform the public of what the fire department is doing, what the police department is doing,
Sure.
and
There's a difference though between like investigative journalism, and filming someone who's experiencing some kind of medical crisis, like we had here tonight, which you showed up to.
so when I show up, I don't have details of what's going on,
You
but
have exact same details that the fire department has because you scanned them. That's how you knew they were here tonight.
well, my understanding is that the fire department has other channels of communication where they have more
They don't.
information.
What you hear is what they have.
I don't think that's true, sir. There's some kind of
It's not like a secret society that the fire department is running.
No, I mean I think they have like an iPad or some kind of computer system where they have notes and
communications they
whatnot.
That's so they can communicate what the person's medical needs are to the hospital when they're on the way there. That's all that is. So when they're coming here and you're meeting them here, you have just as much information as they have. So you knew what you were coming here to do. You knew you were coming here for someone experiencing a medical crisis inside of his house. I'm not telling you not to film because it's legal to film in public.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
just asking you to show a little bit of decency when you know that you're going to a medical emergency that didn't involve anyone else. It's happening outside someone's house. It wasn't even a public event. You knew what you were going to film.
sir, I always try to be.
There should be some morality in your decision making on what you film and what you don't film.
I always try to be respectful, sir.
I disagree. I don't think it's respectful to film someone who's going through a medical emergency, especially when they ask you not to and you tell them, "Oh, too bad," which I've experienced personally.
Are you referring to down at the waterfront?
Yes.
Behind the what's the
Behind
name?
the
What's the name of that
film
building?
center there.
Yeah, the film center there.
Yes. And also, I've seen on your videos other people asking you not to be filmed as well.
Yeah. Well, if I were to tell you all the things that people have told me not to film, it would include everything. Like you.
Well, then maybe you take that into consideration. People don't like being filmed. It's within your rights to do so as long as you're entering someone's house. So I'm not going to tell you can't film. But if every single person you're filming is asking not to be filmed, maybe you take that into consideration and find a new hobby.
Right. So, this is something I do to inform the public about what's going on in Burlington.
Do you think the public needs to be informed about someone having a medical emergency in their house? Is that informative to the public?
So since 2012, the fire department has experienced a doubling of call volume, even though the city obviously hasn't doubled in population. So what's happening with the fire department and the medical calls is I think is very relevant information to a lot of people.
And there's a reason why you can subpoena a lot of our information, but you can't theirs because of HIPAA violations. People's medical rights are protected by federal law.
Right. So we're not really talking about that though. We're talking about recording in public, sir, not people.
Someone going through a medical event. There's a reason why the fire department can't release that information, because it's sensitive information for people who are going through a medical crisis who don't want that information to be public.
Right. So there are laws that govern the behavior of covered entities like firefighters, the fire department,
It's not covering the firefighters, it's protecting the patients that they're encountering.
I'm just saying that the HIPAA law is a law that refers that governs certain individuals and organizations.
The release of medical information.
So the HIPAA law doesn't. I'm not.
You're not bound by it. I'm not
bound by HIPAA
I'm not
law
assuming
at all.
You are bound by HIPAA law. I'm just saying
Right.
you're trying to inform the public of these medical calls are going on.
Yes, sir.
The public doesn't necessarily need or want to be informed. It's someone going through a private medical emergency, and it's embarrassing to that person, uncomfortable to that person who's going through that, to be exposed to the public.
Yeah.
Again, it's within your right. I just ask you to have a little bit of morality in your decision making. Like, you're not downtown filming right now. You're on South William Street, pretty quiet street, full of neighborhoods. There's nothing commercial here. There's no businesses. There's no bars. There's nothing. It's just someone's house you went to. You scanned the fire department. You heard they were going to someone's house for a medical emergency, and you went to that person's house to film them.
I didn't hear that they were going to someone's house, sir.
I just told you that South William Street is entirely residential. There's no businesses on South William Street.
Well, I didn't know that when I came here. This is, I mean, this looks.
Can you film this for a second so people can see?
Yeah.
They didn't realize this is a house.
This looks residential, but I'm not sure if this is a UVM building or what. Whether it's an institutional building.
Because they're housing people there.
But like, that's not residential over there.
That's Pearl Street. It's a Pearl Street address. That's a South Prospect Street address.
So, well, I guess I'm not that familiar with all the buildings on South Williams.
You couldn't look at it, take one look and say that's residential. I probably shouldn't be filming this person going through a medical crisis at their house.
You see, you keep coming back to that, sir.
Because that's what we're doing tonight. That's why I'm here.
Right, so
that's what started this interaction tonight. Is you came to someone's house to film their medical emergency. So I think it's very relevant.
What started your involvement was that a woman came out of the house and physically assaulted me.
Okay, and that's being investigated by Officer Moran, like he explained.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know that's what started this. Before that, I was just quietly and peacefully exercising my rights in public.
Yep, and you have every right to do so. Again, all I've asked multiple times, and you consider a little bit of morality in your decision making. Okay, so I'm going to leave. Officer Moran will give you some follow up on what his conclusion comes to when he's done with his investigation. Okay.
All right.
Our phone number doesn't appear as a normal phone number. It's usually like a series of zeros or something weird. Okay. So if you see like a strange phone number pop up, Just try to answer if you're available, okay?
Sir, do you have my OC spray?
I do. Officer Moraine has it. It's being seized as evidence right now, okay? If the investigation, if no charges are forthcoming, it'll be returned to you. But right now, it's seized as potential evidence of the investigation.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
All right. Have a good night, Todd.
Can I ask you another question, sir?
Yes.
So, I always try to be lawful, and I always try to be peaceful.
Sure. I appreciate that.
And I always try to be de-escalatory. But I'm sure you know from your experiences that sometimes it's challenging to meet that standard. In terms of the legality, am I, like, when somebody physically hits me, like, am I allowed to respond to that? Am I allowed to defend myself, or do I need to?
If you feel your safety is at risk, you're allowed to defend yourself. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. In this case, I felt like my safety and my property were at risk.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the reason why it's continuing to be investigated is because, one, we have to talk to the other party.
Right.
We can't act off of one person's
Of course.
statement. But also there's some conflicting statements of witnesses from the fire department and people who were just in the area who don't know anyone involved and witnessed it. And it kind of conflicted with what you said. So that's why we're further investigating this, okay?
Yeah.
Did you email that video that you recorded to Officer Moran? Because that's evidence as well.
Yeah, I'll send that video to him.
Do you have his email?
I don't.
Okay, I'll give it to you. It's going to be the same as my email on the front of the card. So it's going to be M. Moran, which I'll write on here, okay? Let me just use the tree for a hard surface. So M's email in that video, okay?
All right.
Because that's also evidence of what happened here. If we acted in self-defense and that's caught on video, we'd also like to have that, okay?
Yeah.
All right, any more questions?
Do you want to see the video now?
No, I showed Officer Moran, right?
I did show it to him.
He's the
I may
investigating
or may
officer.
not send it to him, depending on.
Well, you should, because I can seize your phone as evidence otherwise. Because you recorded
Okay, all
potential
right,
crime.
fine.
I'd rather not do that.
I don't want you to seize my phone. So
Okay,
if that's
probably email him that, because I'm offering you the least intrusive manner
sure, that sounds
to produce
fine.
evidence. Okay.
That sounds fine.
'Cause the alternative would be to seize your phone as evidence and download it.
Okay. But you didn't want to see the video?
Officer Moran is the investigating officer.
Okay.
So if you watched it and you're going to email it to him, he's going to be the one that makes the determination in the end. Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. And you are Officer Bauer?
Bauer, yes.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. It's around 10:50 on Saturday, July 5th. Here on South William Street. Goodbye from beautiful scenic Burlington.